The United States is buried in debt over $36 trillion, growing by nearly $1 trillion every 100 days. That's about $15,000 owed by every taxpayer. While the government keeps spending and Wall Street plays risky games, millions of everyday folks are just one missed paycheck from trouble. Some states are already struggling with failing pensions, broke hospitals, crumbling schools, and shrinking populations. When the next economic crash hits, these places won't just hurt, they could fall apart completely. Today, we're revealing the 10 U.S. states most at risk of collapsing when the economy takes a dive. Stick around to find out which ones might face the biggest trouble in 2025. Love these eye-opening facts? Hit like, subscribe, and drop a comment. Where are you watching from? Number 10, West Virginia. West Virginia shows what a slow economic collapse looks like. Once powered by coal, the state lost over 75% of its coal jobs since 2010, erasing thousands of good-paying jobs that kept towns alive. With little to replace them, people now depend on low-wage work or government help. About 20.5% of residents live in poverty, way above the U.S. average of 12%. The median income is just $55,000, far below the national $70,000. Only 55% of working-age adults have jobs or are looking, meaning nearly half have given up on work. The opioid crisis makes things worse, with West Virginia leading in overdose deaths, 84 per 100,000 in some areas, costing billions and shrinking the workforce. Since 2010, over 100,000 people left, a 6% drop as young folks move to states like Ohio or Texas. With 21% of residents over 65, healthcare and pensions strain the budget. Roads and bridges are crumbling, and the state relies on federal funds for 35% of its budget. If those dry up, West Virginia's in big trouble. Number 9, Mississippi. Mississippi sits at the bottom of almost every big economic list in the U.S. Its median household income is only $48,000, way below the national $70,000, leaving many families struggling to get by. Poverty hits hard. Nearly 20.5% of people live below the poverty line, and in some rural areas, it's over 35%, trapping folks in tough times. Only 56% of working-age adults have jobs or are looking, the lowest in the country, showing many have given up hope. Education struggles too, with Mississippi ranking last in test scores, underfunded schools, and few college options, pushing young people to leave for good. Healthcare's a big issue. Mississippi has the highest infant death rate and a life expectancy 5 years below the U.S. average. Rural hospitals are closing, leaving some areas far from care, and 15% of people have no insurance, risking financial ruin from one emergency. Infrastructure's crumbling, with 25% of bridges unsafe and a huge repair backlog. Jackson's water problems are just one example. The state leans on federal funds for 40% of its budget, with no savings for tough times. Mississippi's at risk of total breakdown if a recession hits. Number 8, Michigan. Michigan's often called a comeback story after the 2008 crash, but it's still in trouble. Detroit's downtown looks nicer, and Ann Arbor's tech scene is growing, but the state leans heavily on car making. In 2024, 20% of Michigan's GDP came from manufacturing, so a global supply chain hiccup could hit hard. Money troubles are common. 40% of people struggle with late bills, medical debt, or bad loans. The median income is $63,000, below the U.S. average, and poverty is high, especially in Detroit, where some areas have over 30% poverty rates. Over 100,000 people left Michigan from 2020 to 2024, leaving empty towns and less tax money. About 22% of Detroit's homes are vacant, hurting property values. Roads are terrible. 45% are in bad shape, needing $7 billion in fixes yearly. Water issues go beyond Flint, with lead risks in some counties. The opioid crisis is rough, with overdose deaths doubling in 10 years, and rural hospitals are closing. If car sales drop, Michigan could face another wave of job losses and home foreclosures, showing its recovery is shaky. Number 7, Alabama. Alabama's got heart with its culture, football fever, and beautiful landscapes, but its economy is crumbling. The median household income is just $59,000, among the lowest in the U.S., and 16% of people, about 800,000, live in poverty, struggling daily. Education is a big problem, ranking in the bottom 5 states. Schools lack money, teachers, and graduates, with only 27% of adults holding a college degree compared to the U.S. 37%. This pushes young people to leave for jobs in places like Georgia or Texas. Healthcare's in bad shape too. Alabama didn't expand Medicaid, so 300,000 people lack affordable coverage. Over 15 rural hospitals closed since 2010, leaving areas without care. The state's infant death rate is high, and life expectancy is 3 years below the national average. Roads and bridges are falling apart, 16% of bridges are unsafe, and rural areas lack good internet, hurting job growth. Alabama's budget is weak, with little savings and reliance on aerospace, cars, and farming. A recession could break services, close schools, and shut hospitals, leaving communities in trouble. Number 6. Arkansas. Arkansas stays out of the spotlight, but its economic troubles are serious and sneaky. With a median household income of just $53,000, one of the lowest in the U.S., and 15% of people living in poverty, life is tough, especially in rural areas. Jobs are hard to find, healthcare is far away, and small businesses keep closing. Over 200,000 people have no health insurance, and since 2010, 10 rural hospitals shut down, forcing folks to drive 50 miles for a doctor. Medical debt pushes many into bankruptcy. Education struggles too. Only 26% of adults have college degrees, far below the national average. Rural schools lack money and teachers, making it hard to train workers for modern jobs. Walmart, the biggest employer, is cutting jobs and automating, while farming and manufacturing face risks from low profits and global trade. Poor internet in 40% of rural areas and crumbling roads add to the mess. Arkansas relies on federal funds for 45% of its budget, so a recession could hit hard, with families leaving and services failing. Number 5. Kentucky. Kentucky's story shows what happens when big industries fade and nothing new takes their place. Coal, once the state's heart, has dropped over 60% in jobs since 2010, leaving eastern Kentucky with high unemployment. This fuels deep poverty. 18% of people live below the poverty line, and in some mountain areas it's over 25%. Families rely on food stamps or disability checks. The median income is $57,000, one of the lowest in the U.S., and only 58% of working-age adults have jobs, far below average. Healthcare's in trouble too. Since 2010, 12 rural hospitals closed, leaving some folks an hour from emergency care. Life expectancy is 4 years below the U.S. average, and over 2,100 die yearly from opioid overdoses, one of the highest rates. Education struggles. Only 27% of adults have college degrees, and rural schools lack money and have low graduation rates, pushing young people to leave. Kentucky leans on fading coal and tobacco, with weak roads and spotty internet. A recession could leave whole areas abandoned. Number 4. Nevada. Nevada sparkles with Las Vegas's bright lights, but its economy is a risky bet. About 30% of workers rely on tourism, hotels, and casinos, jobs that vanish fast in tough times. Unemployment jumps wildly, from 3.6% to over 4.2% in a year, and hit 13% during the Great Recession, the worst in the U.S. Many never bounce back. Housing's shaky too. Nevada had the second highest foreclosures in 2008. Home prices soared 40% since 2020, with Las Vegas homes now at $450,000, but incomes are only $72,000, stretching families thin. Another crash could spark more foreclosures. Outside Las Vegas and Reno, rural areas struggle with shrinking populations, limited healthcare, and weak job markets. Roads and bridges are rough, 21% of bridges are unsafe, and water shortages from the Colorado River threaten everyone. Nevada's budget depends on tourism and sales taxes, which tanked 30% during the pandemic, cutting services. Without a state income tax, there's no backup. Nevada's economy is like a casino game, flashy when it wins, but a loser in a downturn. Number 3, Louisiana. Louisiana's fighting tough battles, and the numbers show a state in trouble. Nearly 19% of people, about 900,000, live in poverty, one of the highest rates in the U.S. The median income is just $56,000, among the lowest nationwide. The economy leans hard on oil and gas, which swing wildly with global prices, causing job losses when prices drop. Empty factories and fading small towns show the struggle to find new industries. Hurricanes like Ida in 2021, costing $75 billion, wreck homes, businesses, and roads, and Louisiana lacks the cash to bounce back fast. Every storm season threatens more damage. Infrastructure's a mess. Over 1,500 bridges are unsafe, and roads, levees, and water systems need billions in fixes. Floods threaten Baton Rouge and New Orleans, while coastal land disappears fast. Over 71% of LSU graduates leave within 5 years, taking talent elsewhere. Population growth is flat, with rural areas shrinking. Healthcare's weak, with many uninsured and hospitals stretched thin. With poverty, weak roads, oil dependence, and storms, Louisiana's at risk of falling apart. Number 2, Hawaii. Hawaii looks like a dream with its blue waters and stunning sunsets, but for locals, it's a tough place to live. Homes cost over $850,000, while families earn just $88,000 a year, making buying a house nearly impossible. Everything's pricey. Milk can hit $6 a gallon, gas over $5, and food and goods cost double because most things are shipped in. This squeezes families hard. Tourism drives nearly 30% of the economy, but when visitors dropped 70% in 2020, jobs vanished and money dried up. Even in 2024, tourism's 15% below normal. Many native Hawaiians are leaving, pushed out by high costs and vacation homes bought by rich outsiders. Between 2010 and 2024, tens of thousands left. Healthcare's weak, with too few doctors, especially in rural areas. The islands rely on imports for 81% of food, so supply issues mean empty shelves. Energy costs are sky-high too. Hawaii's paradise for the rich, but a money struggle for locals. A recession could sink it fast. Number 1, Illinois. Illinois shines with Chicago's tall skyscrapers, top universities, and a strong industrial past. But it's hiding a huge money problem, a pension crisis. The state owes $139 billion for retirements, the worst in the U.S., equal to about $11,000 for every person, even babies. This gap keeps growing, and credit agencies have given Illinois a rating just above junk, making loans super expensive. Every economic dip means more borrowing, higher interest, and less money for schools and healthcare. Property taxes are some of the highest. Homeowners pay about 2.2% of their home's value yearly. For a $300,000 house, that's over $6,600, pushing families out. In 2024, over 83,000 people left Illinois, many of them high earners, shrinking the tax base further. While Chicago's finance and tech scenes boom, small towns and manufacturing fade and schools struggle. The median income is $75,000, near the U.S. average, but high taxes and costs hit hard. Nearly 2,400 bridges need fixes, but money goes to pensions and debt instead. Healthcare and education wait times are long. If a recession hits, falling taxes and fixed pensions could mean big cuts, higher taxes, and more people leaving. Illinois is on the edge of a financial disaster.